Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for the second semi-final, Australia versus the USA. Whoever wins this game will go on to face New Zealand, the defending champions, in the final of the Cape Town Sevens World Cup. Looking through at the starting lineup for Australia: Madison Levi, Soraya Parky, Shani Williams, also Lifau Celia. I always say her last name wrong, so I do apologise for that. Faith Nathan, Madison Ashby, and Charlotte Caslick as the starting lineup. Then for France will be Chita Imba, Naya Tapper, Nicole Hevreland. Hopefully I haven't got that one too far off either. Jazz Gray, that's a nice easy name. Elena Olsen, also Maha, and Lauren Doyle is the last name in that. I called them France. I do apologise for that. I meant USA. The reason I called them France was because I was thinking of Okemba, Rala, then Imba. Quite similar in terms of the names. And also the way that they play is relatively similar as well. But of course, the USA, the team making it through to the final. We have done a lot of matches of sevens over the last 48 hours. I'm getting my teams muddled, but one thing that I know is whoever wins this goes on to face the Kiwis, and the kickoff is now upon us here. It will be the USA kicking off this one now. Probably lucky I didn't say too many of those USA names with a French accent in that case. Now kicked off by Olsen. Does get it just the 10 metres. Charlotte Caslick takes it nicely. And now it's going to be a mistake from Australia already. So now it becomes the scrum feed for the USA. Only 10 seconds in and already a mistake from the Australians. And a rarity. And at the World Sevens Series throughout 2022, they have been able to win themselves that championship sevens. They want to be able to go all the way in this competition. The Commonwealth Games, I believe they were also able to get themselves some gold in the trophy cabinet. Go Aussie, says William, and also Charlotte, says David the Mod. Ball put in by Olsen. It's going to be the penalty now to USA. Australia scrummaging on the angle. I believe that was against Maddie Levi. It's been penalised there. And do you think we should sack Ian Foster? I think the only way they sack him is if they're willing to pay him out, and they're not willing to pay him out. So I think he's going to be sticking around a lot longer, probably till after the Rugby World Cup. And then New Zealand Rugby would be smart not to once again pay him a whole heap of money and give him a long contract extension, because that is what got them in trouble for the last time. Little mistake on the ground from the US. Now Shani Williams cleans it up. Starting to get the legs driving, but going to be cut off pretty quickly by Tapper, who's got some brilliant pace of her own, gets on the ball, wins the penalty for the USA, who closed out at $9.60 underdogs for this contest. And let's see if the Americans can pull something out of the hat. Says David the Mod. Looks like they do want the scrum feed here for USA. We have got one more semi-final coming up. That will be that will be Australia versus Fiji just around the corner as an 11:33 a.m. start, or p.m. start, I should say, here in New Zealand. This is a rematch of the 2018 Rugby World Cup Sevens bronze final. Australia won at 24 points to 14. Currently, they are on an absolute tear, the Aussie women's side. They seem to have great team mentality and great team skill involved. Olsen having a bit of a juggle, but it did all go backwards, and now it's going to be in the hands of the number 8, Jazz Gray. Not able to get through, but she was absolutely loving it yesterday when they were able to beat the Canadian. Shani Williams gets herself over the ball, wins the penalty. Now taking the quick tap off the foot. Caslick now in the midfield waiting for this ball. Instead, it's going to be Maddie Ashby. Now finds the offload to Caslick, who cuts up the middle. And similar to the last match, Caslick will be scoring first and efficiently, just like she does pretty much every single contest. But that is going to be Caslick's second try of the Rugby World Cup Sevens 2022 competition. This nice work from Maddie Ashby. She waited patiently for that gap to open up to find the offload to Caslick. And also, who would be a good coach for the replacement and for an Ian Foster. I believe a lot of people want to see either Scott Robinson or maybe a Warren Gatlin, as I think the other option people have said. I know Joe Schmidt is another name in the running, but I don't think he actually wants the job of head coach. Shani Williams kicks that one down the middle, and now 3 minutes gone in the first half and 4 minutes to go. Australia leading 7-0. Defence. Australia have conceded just 3 visits to the opposition 22 and 1 missed tackle throughout this tournament. So they have been looking very impressive in their first couple of fixtures. Now kicked low from Shani Williams. Bit of a different tactic there. Looks effective, but it's set up for Jazz Gray now. Now wrestled down Hanging on to this one. It's going to be Maha. Fires it across. This is looking good. Doyle, ball on the inside. Now Chitaemba builds those legs. Continues to drive them like there's some sort of piston. Now ball on the outside. USA keeping this one alive quite nicely. Maddie Levi. Hard fend on her by Tapper. But she has still been able to help drag her down by getting a run over the top of her. Now Chitaemba with the rough pass. It's going to be a knock on there from Maha. And now ball available at the back for the Aussies. Kicked in behind, little grubber, silky skills from Maddie Ashby. Trying to make it bounce up for her. It's going to be the knock on against her though. And the USA have now got this one back. Chitaemba once again wrestled down by Maddie Levi. She does not shy away from a bit of contact, that woman. Which I think probably comes from her woman AFL days. So there's always some big shots being thrown around in the Aussie rules competitions. Now only a few meters out from their own line here for the USA, trying to find a gap. Going to be Tapper. Almost loses that ball out the back. Doyle with the sling and pass. They have to be extremely careful here because if they get this wrong, Australia might be able to get the counter-attack. That is brilliant work, though, from Maha to get an extra 5 to 10 metres. The referee almost gets lined up with the ball. Now fired back across. That was Heverland getting involved. Now number 10, Olsen running sideways, gives it off to Gray. Now another pass. Nice work here from the USA to keep this ball alive. Another offload to Jazz Gray. Now, like they're saying, it's a patient build-up. Come on, Aussie girls. And when we play England, or we can loose and mix on in there, or lose and mix on, says Nerve Boy. But yeah, I think they've locked him until after the World Cup, haven't they, for Ian Foster? So he has at least got that much time to try and see if he can turn the ABs around. It's going to be the penalty of the USA. They've had a majority of the possession throughout the last 3 or so minutes. Last 4 penalties, we've seen 3 against Australia, which is a rarity in the competition to see so many. But I think it's that extra pressure that the USA are bringing to the USA, or bringing to the Australians in this one. And it's interesting, they closed at $9.60 underdogs, like I mentioned. I'm just going to have a quick look now to see what they are sitting on, because I believe the odds would have changed quite drastically from what we've seen. Yes, Aussie have scored, but I don't think they're doing too badly at all. They're sitting on $12.75 underdogs. I think there could be a try just around the corner for the USA, though. Olsen now throws it in. It's going to be stolen. I jinx that big time. Australia now have got this ball. It could be a try for the Aussies. Just around the corner, Maddie Ashby pins the ears back, gets going. It's going to be slapped down by the winger. I believe they're going to say it's a double blow of the whistle and a yellow card. That's going to hurt Jazz Gray. She's going, was it me? What did I do? But you knocked the ball on deliberately, and that is why you go into the bin for 2 minutes. Unfortunately, that is one of the rules of sevens. You are unable to do so. She did try and slap it back onto her team side, which I think is why she felt that she was hard done by, but she did still get the finger to it to cut out the pass of Faith Nathan. Now, it's going to be Kaslik. Slings it across. They want the Trans-Tasman final, the Aussies, and they'll be going head-to-head with the Kiwis if they can get themselves over the line. Good run from Maddie Levi. Just throws it back infield. Little bit of a mistake there from the USA. Just a little knock on with 30 seconds left in the first half. Do you think if we lose the Bledisloe low, or do you think we lose the Bledisloe to sacking Ian Foster? I think New Zealand Rugby don't want to pay him. I don't think they want to pay him out. They'd rather have him as the coach than having to pay him out his contract and then find a new coach in such a short amount of time who will more than likely want about the same money that Ian Foster was on. So they've dug their own grave, and now they've got a lion at New Zealand Rugby. And it's the sad reality of when you get decisions wrong, you got to live with them. And they're finding it out firsthand. Water. Very good for you. I'm going through plenty of it today. USA currently $20 underdogs. So you'd think more than likely that Australia might find their way over the line relatively soon. Looking at those odds. Now, Kaslik about to feed the ball in. Their yellow card wouldn't have helped. A little bit of a slip from Kaslik there. Sling and pass. I can see way out on the wing. It's Faith Nathan. She's impossible to stop when she gets space, but she slipped over. That's cost her all of her momentum there. She's still trying to drive those legs forward, though. Counts as a tackle, so they do have to release. Now Ashby goes across to Shani Williams. Kaslik in the midfield. One more pass up. Nice bit of a offload from Parky. Now Levi finds it to Parky. Again, it's going to be stolen by the USA. So maybe the USA don't have the try scored against them, because if that is the case, they are still $17 underdogs, which is pretty huge for a match that has only got 7 points deciding it, although another penalty to Australia that will probably cost them. Once again, like they're saying, the siren has gone for halftime, but they do want to keep playing. For now, it's going to be the knock-on from Faith Nathan, and that is going to be the end of the first half. The USA, it's unfortunate for them. Some deep breaths from the Australians. Faith Nathan looks like she's about to cry. Don't worry, you'll get another chance. Out on the wing, don't panic. Sure, it will go all right. And can be the All Blacks win this next World Cup. It's certainly going to be tough for them, because at the end of the day, there's some stiff opposition that is going to be in the running for the competition. Like, you've got France at home. They're going to be challenging. You've also got, alongside France, Ireland are looking pretty good. You've got the defending champs, South Africa. Also, since it's in the Northern Hemisphere, maybe England have a decent enough crack at it. Argentina aren't looking too bad. New Zealand, Australia, Fiji, who knows who will be able to get themselves over the line. A lot of those teams that I listed more than likely will not win it, of course. In fact, all of them but one will not win it. Okay, USA, they have not missed a single tackle. They have made their 3. Australia, they had only missed 1 tackle up till this point in the competition. Now they have missed 3 just in this solo match. 10 tackles made by the Australians. They had the woman advantage for the remainder of that first half. They weren't quite able to make the most of it, though, which is why I think the USA have got a decent crack in this contest. That would be a very interesting final, to say at the very least. But Kaslik and the coach is fired up. They have said pardon the language, or we apologise for the language. At the end of the day, it's a semi-final. There's going to be swearing in a huddle. If you don't want to hear the swearing in a huddle, do not go into the huddle. It's like when they went into the Scottish huddle and expected not to hear 10 F-bombs dropped. It's like, it's Scotland. They fire themselves up by repeatedly using swear words, and it sometimes works. Didn't work for this competition, sadly, for the Scottish, but in a 17 minutes time will be Australia versus Fiji. It will be the last game of the semi-finals that we are covering. Then we are going to be covering the finals a little bit later on. So if you are new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, if you do want to be able to access these games, if you haven't got a VPN, I highly recommend the one we have got in the pinned comment. You'll be able to set yourself to a location. We are watching these games for free as an option, and then you will be able to see all of the games on the the rwc.com or rwc7s.com website. Nice low shot from Australia. It's going to be a knock-on here. Jazz Gray still off the field for another minute or so. I think Shani Williams might have taken a knock to the nose. It's bleeding a little bit. She won't be too happy with that. In fact, Jazz Gray doesn't have a minute left. She is actually going out. And also, do you think we please see Savan perfect up this week? Savan perfect up this week. Do you think we please see Savan perfect? Who is Savan? Do let me know. I feel like I should know that name, but I can't quite think of it off the top of my head. Oh, Sevens. Do you think we see Sevens perfect up this week? Is it? Maybe. At least 7 minutes remaining between these two sides. Australia have got themselves a scrum feed. USA back to the 7 individuals who are out on the park. But the thing is, they need to play like a team if they want to beat Australia. Nice looping play. Kaslik's going to score it. And that defense was a little bit rough there. She didn't have too many options there, Jazz Gray, other than to just backtrack. And also we have got their Sevens pair of Feta sucks even pay for this week. And there says a Nerf boy. I assume, is that Peter Feta in the All Black side? Because he is in the squad, but he is more than likely not going to get a chance to play with Richie Mo'unga and Bowden Barrett there. Sorry, I think autocorrect is really affected. Yeah, do you think we will see Peter Feta this week? I hope to see Peter Feta, but I don't think they'll give him the opportunity in the game, unfortunately. A nice work from Charlotte Kaslik. She has scored both tries in this contest for the Australians, and now the USA will be even lower in terms, or even higher, I should say, for the USA in the betting odds, as they now sit 12-0 down. 2 converted tries, though, gets them straight back into this contest. Maha goes short side. USA just need a little bit more attacking urgency at the moment to be able to break through this Australian defence. We've already seen them break through tackles 3 times. Can they get another one just around the corner? Doyle, nice inside ball. Beautifully done here. Now, big bit of driving here from Kershey. He's come off the bench, Christy Kershey, and has already had quite a substantial impact in getting the Australians on the front foot. Tapper missing the tackle was Maddie Levi. Dominic Detoy almost missing it as well. Good strength shown by Cheta Ember. Now across. Once again, nicely taken in the midfield. Jazz Gray, good step from Kershey. Advantage to the US. They will almost be going back. It was almost going to be blown as the penalty, but now this time, no, the advantage is over. So the USA have to clean that one up. They've done well, or have they? No. Yes, they have. The penalty goes to the USA in the end for the player leaving her feet, going over the middle of the breakdown. That time, Soraya Parkey is the woman who was penalised. Looks like they want to go for the scrum. Do you think we should replace Sam Cane as captain? I think so. I think the time to pass the torch is almost here. Whether it's Artie Savia, I think Savia is the better option because Sam Whitelock theoretically has probably only got another 2 or 3 years in him, whereas Savia, I can see him playing for another 5 if he continues the form that he's got. So maybe look at a Savia option or maybe one of those other young guys as a very good option. Currently, the USA, they are sitting 12 points down with 4 minutes left on the clock. And the ball is fed in. They have kept that one. That was Kennett. Does nicely now. Once again, it's going to be Christy Kershey. Ball on the outside to Jazz Gray, who really hasn't found a lot of space at all throughout this matchup. But that is what the Australian defence do. They suffocate you. They try and shut you down in the midfield and stop you from getting that ball out wide. Maha tries to drive hard, but once again, Madison Levi up for the challenge. She said, if you want to run straight at me, you can bulldoze me over, but you're falling over as well. Now, nice work from Kershey. God, ooh, nice little sell of the dummy. Now, ball on the outside. It's going to be a drop ball, unfortunately, for the USA. South Africa doing well in the cricket, 45 for none, leading by 5. Says Hanley now. And come on, USA, says Nathan Rossi, number 10. Can butter my toast if she wants, says I. So that would be Soraya Parkey that you are after for a toast butter. I didn't even realize you would need someone to butter your toast. I thought that was a relatively easy enough task, I guess you could say. But each their own. Depends on how hard the butter is, am I right? Sometimes it sounded like I was doing stand-up there. But, sometimes butter is just not meant for buttering. Sometimes it just gets way too solid. That spreadable butter, though, that is where it's at. All those little tiny little packets that you get of butter when you go on a holiday. Now across the nice wide cutting pass. Going to be Dominic Detoy shut down in the middle and taken down. Ball recycled. Charlotte Caslick now across. It's going to be young Tegan Levi, I should say. Now kicking it in behind. It looks like her big sis, Maddie Levi, wants to get onto it. Nicely taken by the USA, though. If they score, now they are still right in it. Let's not get that wrong. Australia, though, if they can keep them shut out for the next minute or so, I would say they are going through for a Trans-Tasman final. But if not, we could see the biggest upset in the women's division of the matches so far. Now across once again. They've had a lot of possession, just not a lot of those extra meters. Chris Thomas out there on the park, though. She is certainly a player who could turn it around for the USA. Looking for the pass. Maha, nice work there. Kershey sold the dummy, now out into the hands of Jazz Gray. Nice bit of a step and a pop and all things going down the wing for the US of A. Double work from the Australians. In fact, it's the triple. Nice slinging pass. That means it's only 4 on 5 out here. Surely there's a gap for the USA. They're running sideways too much, but that's worked perfectly. The USA will score it between the 6, and it's going to be Heberland who does get it. Now, I mentioned about the fact that they have been running right sideways every single time, but that was the difference. That time, they were running sideways, but they threw something different. They went with the short pass rather than the long one, and they had the numbers on that side. Australia have considered the try, and USA are back in this contest now. I wonder what that does to the betting odds for this contest. Party in the USA is playing around the ground, and when you go Dalton Papali Dick to replace Scott Barry, says Nerf Boy, it's a great question, really. But But I would say Dalton Papali'i, he's not too far off from getting that number 7 jersey, if that's the question. I assume you're saying for Dalton Papali'i to take the number 7 spot, maybe. And it could be in the next couple of years or so, unless they transition Ardie Savia back. 8 missed tackles from the Australians compared to 22 tackles that they've made. USA have not missed a single tackle. And like they're saying, they don't think they've ever seen so much defense from Australia in a game and so many missed tackles throughout this whole year. And also, we look at there, did YouTube send you a warning at says Nathan in there as well. But currently the USA, they know that they're right in this contest. They just need one try. The winner will go on to face up against New Zealand. Question is, who will be joining them? Will it be the USA or will it be the Australians? We've just got a little bit of a stoppage here. For some reason, I think there is a little bit maybe of an injury stoppage or maybe some subs being made. But currently, USA to win is a lot more than I'd expect it to be, which is why I think maybe Australia have a very good start to this one, I would think, in terms of the kickoff. Yeah, it does look like there's some sort of injury. There are a few players out there just looking like they are standing still waiting for it to pass over. And Ian Foster showed up at my house and made me change it back, says I. And there as well. But yeah, the betting line has been frozen at $46 for the USA to win this one. I assume that maybe that try was scored and the TAB were like, we gotta just shut this whole thing down before we do end up giving people $46 per dollar that they put on. So that is why they have shut it down. And now we are just waiting for the injury. It looks like it's a relatively serious one. I haven't seen who the player is that is currently down. I want to say it's an Australian player. I'm trying to count how many USA. I've got 1, 2, a couple drinks, ladies. 1, 2. How many Australia got? I think Australia might have 6. Wait, he isn't all that scary. At least brought Ardie Savia and Akira Ioane, says Nathan. And Shannon Frizzell, do you think we should take Scott Barrett out for Papali'i popularity? I mean, Scott Barrett, he's handy enough at 6. Dalton Papali'i, for me, isn't really a 6. He just had to play there because Sam Cane had the number 7. So I would say preferably I'd love to see Dalton Papali'i at number 7. And I wouldn't mind seeing Scott Barrett at number 6 now that Whitelock's back. And Retallica are also back. There's a ship on the ocean. It's actually a pirate ship. That's quite cool. Quite a few people in attendance for this. They are playing, what's this song called? We Built This City, a bit of old, that was on SingStar 80s, wasn't he? Or wasn't it? He used to be able to sing that song. But yeah, the betting odds are frozen for this matchup, ladies and gentlemen. They do not know how to react to what has just happened with the USA scoring. But yeah, it's annoying that we haven't heard any update on or not so much who the player is, but who the player is playing for. The crowd are all having fun. The lady getting stretchered off is not having so much fun, I wouldn't assume. And Scott Barrett to play fullback, says I there as well. So it does seem like we may have a little bit of a delay in the next part of this match. There's a round of applause, which means now she is going to be going off the field. Thumbs up given. She's Kayla Kennett is the one who is down. Do you think we lose the rugby championship and the legislator and then we sack Foster? I think if we lose the rugby championship, no, I think they'll keep him around because they don't want to pay him, is the way that I look at it. They do not want to give Ian Foster any extra money than they have to in a shorter period of time. Now, Tegan Levi down the short side, 43 seconds left. And the betting has been completely closed for this one. It could go easily either way with 30 seconds left on the clock. Australia, they have gone through, and that will be the deciding factor in the semi-final. And it is going to be the lady whose name I struggle to say, Alicia Lefau-Huacosilia, has been able to score the try. That's very nice there. What happens to the other games? Indirectly, championship good. It's a draw. Says Nerf Boy. So if all of the games are drawn for this round, everyone will be extremely close. Even if we go 1-1, TAB sweating right now. Nah, they're all right now, aren't they? They've managed to keep their money at this point in time. Geordie can play lock. He's catching up to Scotty in height, says Nathan. Well done, Aussie girl, says Nathan. So yeah, that's going to be New Zealand versus Australia in the final. So it's going to be pretty awesome to see the Trans-Tasman rivalry now. Oh, no. Who was that? Who took that kick? That was Tegan Levi. She shanked it straight out in front. She's going, it was right there, and I've missed it, but Australia have managed to win it 17 points to 7. Now we will be transferring over to our next live stream, Fiji versus Australia. The women have done it. Can the men also get the job done? We will wait and see, but thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all for the next one.